Debbie and I worship here together every week. I've gotten to know her better and better over the years. And when a Quaker sees another Quaker living out what we call a leading like this, it's very powerful. And it's been very powerful all down the line for the whole community. And so I'm just always happy and honored when I can help.
Thank you, Kai. So, is there anyone else from Stony Brook who would like to speak?
Welcome.
Yes, Ann.
I'll just say one thing. So I was on Peace and Justice with Debbie back when.
And the board.
And
the board.
And the board. I was on the board too. But back when, as she mentioned, she and Paul Jones were co-counsel. And what are co-counsel? Sorry. Anyway, sorry. But one of the things that Debbie had the idea was to go and do court watch. Right? I know you've done that as part of the program and watched in the courts. And the other night, I happened to be talking to Mike Paulson, who is a teacher at Friends, because I was doing something, and he was here with some of the students, and he was talking about taking the kids to court watch. So, like, this program has, like, and Debbie's influence has, like, just rippled out. Like, it's not just with UniFied efforts, it's not just here at Stony Run, it's the school right here on this campus. And so I would just say too, we're so happy to have Debbie as a friend here because she's introduced us to so many amazing ideas. But that's a program that's still going on.
Well, I've been down in the area where Debbie was and in her neighborhood. And I am so impressed with how the neighborhood, I've talked to the people down there that respect Debbie. And just the amount of respect that they have her and for what she's done is fantastic.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. And now, also in our midst, we have some parents and some grandparents. They didn't know that. But I may call them up. But I'm looking at Miss Doreen right now. And she's a grandparent and auntie to couple of our kids. So would you mind just speaking on behalf of what that has meant to you? Would you mind coming up? Thank you.
Be ye ever ready. Good afternoon. I was not being rude. I was looking at my phone to find the picture where I first met Miss Debbie. We was at a function, and I had a stake around my neck, and I met Miss Debbie, and we got to talking. And at that point, she was working with the city to try to buy a piece of property, and I actually worked for the city. So we came together, and I told my person that Miss Debbie is going to get this property. And guess what? It took a while, but Miss Debbie got the property. So now through her, my great nephew started out there in her elementary camp. And I told her that he was kind of shy and kind of quiet, but she was like, nope, that's not him anymore. So now he's, 20? He's 20 years old, and he went through her whole program from elementary school to Goucher. So from that point, as you can see, I have the young men in the back at the table, and I just keep bringing them, and Miss Debbie keep taking them. And for that, I'm forever grateful, because they get an opportunity they would never have before. She also introduced me to Miss Patrice Hutton, who takes them out for a week to spend in college. They actually live on a college campus. So if each one teach one, if each one reach one, and Miss Debbie is always reaching out to everybody. She has a heart of gold. She don't like y'all old people. She just like the young people. But we thank Miss Debbie. We love Miss Debbie, and we will forever, ever be grateful to UniFied efforts in this state. Thank you.
And the backstory is that the reason left this part out. Is that true? When the community said, Debbie, we're tired of trying to find out where you're gonna land every summer, where you're gonna have these programs. But we went from Fulton Baptist Church, Coppin State, Gethsemane, Pratt Library. I mean, every space that we could use. Where?
The no building.
Yeah, that's right. So we were like nomads, and I was. The city had called me. They knew I was looking for property, right? And I had my mind set on this property that was on North Avenue. Totally set my mind. I saw this going to happen. I was on my way to Department of Housing to put in a bid for the property. And as I was on my way, I don't know who called me, but they said, Debbie, you know you're on the way to put in this contract, put a bid on. Why don't you go buy this property in Woodbrook? I said, Woodbrook, where's that? I'm like, no, I pretty much got my mind made up. I said, no, I'm on my way to put a bid on the property that we had talked about. And they said, okay, they were mindful of my apprehension. But as I was driving, for some reason, said, it's not gonna hurt, just take a look at what they were talking about. Well, I turned the car around and I tried to find the 2500 block of Woodbrook. I found it. And the block, it had like a gap, like a snag tooth in the middle. It was a lot in between the block. And come to find out, the people in the community call it the gap. Because that's where people who were doing criminal activity, instead of running all around the block, they would cut through there. They called it the cut. And I looked at that, I said, wow. It's inside of a residential neighborhood. It looked just very friendly. It had trees in the neighborhood, but it was dilapidated. It was a vacant building on top. And I said, well, maybe this is it. So by the time I went down to housing, before I met Doreen, I said, yeah, I think you're right. I think we should try to get this property, because the other property is one lot, and this was one lot. Well, we put in the bid. I'm not telling you all, because y'all part of the expenses that we make. It was like I didn't know how much. I said, what kind of bid should I put down on it? And the person in the office, she said, well, I really can't tell you, because I said, but I'm clueless. So she said, well, I'll tell you what, because of the purpose of what you're trying to do, and we know the other purpose is what somebody else is trying to do, 3,500 would be fine. So we put in the bid, UniFied Efforts put in the bid for 3,500. And it went through. And I was elated. One address, 2517. By the time I got the contract and we're going to title, and Cynthia Sanders was the attorney at that time, I saw 25, 17, 19, and 21. I said, oh my God, how am I going to tell the board? It's not 30, it's 35 times 3. I said, how am I going to do that? But come to find out, when I called the city, I said, I think you made a mistake. We couldn't bid for 2517. They said, oh no, we just threw in those 2 extra lots for good measure. So we ended up getting 3 lots for the price of 1. So instead of having 1, so now it expanded. But what happened with that, the surrounding area was really deplorable. It had a lot of illegal dumping, abandoned vehicles, and with my eye, I just couldn't see our lot. We were taking care of our lot. We were getting it mowed and put a fence around it and all that kind of stuff. I said, but I see this. We started working on the lots behind us. And we started taking care of it. And the whole block transformed. And doing that, the city came to us and said, would you mind taking the 15 lots off our hands? So right now, UniFied Efforts has a total of 20-some blocks, continual blocks. And across the street, there's another 15 blocks that they're saying they would like us to take as well. A lot of you may be aware that the governor has signed this executive order that states that Baltimore City has between 13,000 and 15,000 dilapidated vacant building lots and properties. And he's giving the city 5 years to find developers to take care of those lots. And that's one reason why we're just in the right place at the right time to get those lots. And last January, wonderful person out at Broadmead called us and was aware of what we were doing and donated 10 lots to us down the street. So as far as space is concerned, we have the space to do what we need to do. Now we're trying to get the resources. What we got from HUD last year, that is one drop in the bucket to keep on moving. But now we're in a position saying we can put in some training facilities for these young people when they come out, because now we need to do a social enterprise where we can prove to financial institutions that every 30 days we got money coming in. They understand that we're doing operations and understand that we can build and understand that we're getting capital assistance. But how you gonna pay for the bill every 30 days? So this is where we are right now. So I gave y'all the background for where we are right now with UniFied efforts. We're in very good stand as far as property. We just need to get some fresh ideas, and hopefully y'all can help us to get some ideas what we're gonna do with these extra. We got 10, 25, 35, close to 40 vacant lots, and they continue. One is down the street that is 10 lots continue. So if y'all can come up with some ideas how we can do some training facilities for these young people where they can move on, or some housing. So that's where we are on that side of the ledger. The operation side, we just need some help. But me saying that I would like to start our program and not in any particular order. And we have another parent over there. Don't think you're gonna get out of this, Angela. Angela, when we first met Angela, she was not a grandmother. And she did not have a daughter-in-law. Now she has a daughter-in-law, and now she's a grandmother. And the young person that Doreen was talking about, who came that's 10 years old, that's her son. So, Angela, would you come up and talk about not what Debbie did, but what UniFied efforts did for your son and where he is today?
Good afternoon. Well, as my aunt said, that's my aunt. She came and told me about Miss Debbie, but I didn't believe her because the things she was saying about Miss Debbie and all of it being free, that's unheard of in this time, in this day and age. So we went to the program, and she is so welcoming and so giving and so loving, and her sister as well. And my son went there, and they learned how to cook. They had a good lunch every day. They were on the news. And like she said, I was shocked I was with her when we went to the golf course. I didn't know it was free. And like she said, for us in particular spaces, it was nice that it was Black owned, so you could feel more comfortable. And it's a shame that you should still feel this way at this time. But the young people had such an amazing time, and as well as I did. So now my father and I, that's my father back there, Miss Debbie's going to teach us how to golf. But the encouragement that she gave to my son for him to be the man that he is now, he's 20 now, he's married, he has a son. And according to Miss Debbie, we are grandfathered in, as long as, like my aunt said, as long as we keep bringing them, she'll accept them. So in any capacity, whatever she does, we are always there to support, no matter what she needs. We always just pull up because we love her because of who she is and what she does.
You know you're next. You know that. Thank you, best of that. Come on up to this father, the grandson that she was talking about. This is his grandson.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I don't have the gift of gab or any special resources, but I was introduced to Debbie through my grandson, and the things that she had done in his life, it impressed me as well. And not only that, but some of the things that she talks about, I've lived them, and the things that she's come up creatively to try to impact the community, I'm all for it. Some here, not like I'm saying, with any special expertise, but she's impressed me enough that I am a supporter for her on board 100%, not just come and celebrate her.
Thank you. Now, pick up the younger group right here. Would y'all believe I used to carry this right here in my arms? 4 years old. 4 years old, I used to carry him. He wouldn't allow anyone else, he wouldn't allow anyone else to pick them up. I literally would carry, my sister would attest to it. We would go on field trips and I would literally carry him in my arms. So UniFied Efforts has a history of sticking through, so it's not just, we are here, babysitting, we are impacting lives. And I want you to understand, it's a two-way street. We get invited to cookouts, weddings, graduations, prom. It goes both ways. It's not just what UniFied Efforts is doing for them, but what they're doing for UniFied Efforts. And what they're giving to us is immeasurable. So I just want to thank you all, and introduce yourself. And who are you, young man? Say on back, okay? And right here. When I first met him, he was too young. He was too young to come to UniFied Effort. He was like in the wings and introduce yourself. Katie Mack, okay, there you go. Here's another young man. Makai Mack. And come on over here. And this is the oldest one. And who are you? Troy Mack Jr. There you go. Have a seat. Now's the time we've been waiting for, and that we're gonna start with this table. No, Dominic, come on in here. Dominic he has been like my right hand. He's one of our first students as well. And Dominic and Bo, I like them both come up together. But they started together. They were both in high school. You did not get to play Bo?
First year of college.
First year of college, okay. So, this is Bo, y'all know she's a member here, Stony, and this is Dominic. They started together. And I'm gonna tell you something, our young people, they form relationships. They stay in touch with one another, and through social media. And I look, and that was the benefit I had not counted on, that they are crossing barriers, I wouldn't say barriers, but I don't think that paths would have crossed had it not been for UniFied Efforts. And they have relationships. They have formed relationships. So that, for me, that was the extra benefit. So Dominic, if you can start first, what UniFied Efforts has done for you, and then Bo, as you've been on the board, you can take it up from there.
Ladies first. Okay. I did not know I was coming up here today, so this is gonna be off the cuff. But I went to Friends School here growing up. I started in pre-first and graduated here in 12th grade. And I had my first year of college. I went out of college in California. I came back for the summer and I was like, what am I gonna do with my summer? So my mom took me here and I was in the meeting house and my mom introduced me to Miss Debbie and my mom was like, Bo has a free summer here. Give her something to do. And so what we came up with was that I was gonna help out with the first year of the summer camp. And so, yeah, I drove down I would park on North Ave every day, go into the church, spend the day there, and Dominic was one of the students that we were working together, and did not know what we were gonna do every day, but we were like, you know what, we're gonna figure it out. So, I think we first started with going to the library that was on Penn North Ave to just find, actually I was taking paper from them, which Miss Debbie reminded me of, because we want to write for the magazine. And so we sat in the library every day. We were on the computers writing away. Do you remember what you wrote about?
Yeah, I wrote 2 articles. One on bullying prevention and another one on All Lives Matter.
Yeah, so we were spending the day in the library. We did some photography projects, right? Or that was the next year. But anyway, we were doing lots of stuff. And I had no idea what we were taking it day by day. But in those days, and weeks and years, I formed relationships with people like Miss Debbie said that I would have never come across. Obviously, I grew up going to Friends School. I lived in Homeland. I have lived a very bubbled life. There was a big bubble surrounding me. And UniFied Efforts taught me a lot. I met people that I would have never talked to before. I learned about the whole city of Baltimore because we were driving to the golf courses, driving to hop in state. Well, yeah, I called I was calling Miss Debbie. I was like, Miss Debbie, I think you have a flat tire, because I was behind her and I could see like the little bubble about to pop. But yeah, and UniFied Efforts taught me more than I could ever have given back to them. And Dominic was part of that. So
my story is I found UniFied Efforts through a summer job, like 2016, and it's been a stepping stone for me in my life. Like every step of my way, it helped me be successful, even when I overcome hardships. UniFied efforts taught me the importance of marketing myself and protecting the brand. So, it's like it just been a good experience with UniFied efforts. I learned how to network with others, make good friendships, good relationships with people, and it brought out my inner skills, stuff I didn't know how to do. Like I learned how to write. I didn't know I loved writing so much until I wrote them 2 articles. It's a good program. It's a good non-profit organization to help people find their inner self, their inner abilities.
Bo is now serving as the vice president of UniFied.
Vice president.
Yeah, Bo is on our executive board, and we really appreciate what she brings to the table. She knows the genesis of UniFied efforts, so we really appreciate it. Thank you.
And Justin was another one that started with me.
Everybody, I want y'all to meet this young man right here. This was the mighty trio right here. They were like the first ones that came to us, that they were just like already in high school.
What,
right?
like 15, 16?
Yes, yes. And Justin got his first job
Yes.
from the magazine.
Yup.
You tell about that.
How y'all doing? So I'm not a fan of public speaking, but it's okay. So originally I started when I was dead, I believe 15, 16, 26 now. Getting older, still youthful, but when I started, we was in the church. This is church, right? We was in the church. I didn't know what UniFied efforts was. I went up there for my youth works.
Yeah.
Youth works. I went up there. My mom was like, I don't know. I gotta meet the lady. I said, no, you don't meet Miss Debbie. So I let her meet Miss Debbie. And it was just love at first sight with all of us. So I was just then, Miss Debbie took us everywhere. Learned how to golf, writing, meeting new people, meeting a couple of y'all, just familiar faces, and just developing relations with people. Outside of that, even after UniFied efforts, outside of school, members they would hang out, she'll drive us around. Y'all want food, come around. And after my time was kind of up UniFied efforts, not saying it ever will be, but at around the time I had brought some other friends with me, established a relationship with Debbie. Again, love at first sight. You gotta love Miss Debbie. So yeah, so now although it's been a while for me, it's nice to just see everybody, see how the program is going, and I can't wait to see how it takes off more in the future. And hopefully, when I have my children, one day they can still be a part of that. So, you know, it's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to see all of y'all. So that's my take.
Now, you know, I always have backstories. Everybody, you know, they're not telling you all this. I have backstory.
Tell them the good ones.
No, it's all good. Justin is the only child.
Yes.
Okay. The first day he came to camp, remember Phyllis? His mother came. And she was registering herself. She said, do you really think I'm going to turn my child over to an organization I don't know anything about? And she stayed with us until she felt confident that her child was in a positive environment. And come to find out, we share almost the same birthday, his mom and I, so we were understanding. She's a Leo and I'm a Leo, so we were kind of like understanding one another.
You're the nice one.
Yeah. and Justin got his first job as an internship, all because what he wrote and what Dominique and what Bo wrote in the magazine, our first magazine, we had it distributed inside the Daily Record, a very conservative publication, and I did that on purpose. And it went out to mainly attorneys and professional people and CEOs, right? This woman at Legal Aid picked up the newspaper, the Daily Record, and our magazine fell out. She said, what in the world is this? All these black kids facing the top of this magazine, well, what is this? And she called me. And Justin, because of that, Justin got his first job as an internship at Legal Aid. Yeah. Next, Ms. Camille. Ms. I'm here from Camille.
I actually wrote something because when it comes to this Debbie, I can talk all day. Thank your eyes, Debbie. Thank you.
excited to share my journey and experience a part of a nonprofit organization called UniFied Efforts. When Ms. Debbie began, her mission was simple but yet important. UniFied Efforts' mission is simply to reduce summer learning loss, provide special multi-purpose programs for children, students year-round, for loss for school-aged children, and for extended school time. She had limited resources, but a small team and big dreams, and we're all determined to make big differences. Being though she had the background what she did as a police officer, people already had positive encounters with her. Sorry, I just love her so much. Positive encounters with her already, so they already saw how much of a positive impact she would make for the community and what she has already done. Over time, thanks to the support in the community, the dedication of the team, started to see real progress, which is still progressing to this day. Such as myself, I've been able to experience the Baltimore City Fire Chief of the Day, so I experienced with them from morning to end. We traveled, we went to meetings. I was in the car, I got to see the inside and out of firefighter trucks. And also, there's a lot of regular trucks on the street that you may not know that has a lot of the interior of the fire trucks inside of the regular trucks, which I found was very interesting. So, helping children with summer programs, I did the Goucher workshop myself, also got a chance to work with Miss Carey here, and we just connected again. Making a lot of different connections and influences people, and many other things such as helping a lot of other children, host successful fundraising event, and providing a lot of free supplies and resources to local students. Of course, it has always been easy, but facing many challenges and obstacles along the way has taught me to adapt, improve, and grow stronger, which I can see in myself today. These experiences showed me a lot of power, teamwork, persistence, and believing in the mission. And I know each of these children don't fully know the impact that they have now, but they will appreciate it a lot, such as the older crowd in the future. Looking ahead, I know UniFied Efforts is more committed than ever. A lot of things that I have experienced, but I hope our stories inspire the youth, and smaller efforts can lead to meaningful changes. Thank you for supporting UniFied Efforts.
Thank you. And tell everybody, what are you doing? What have you done since you graduated from high school? Tell everybody what you're doing. Yes, yes.
Since I graduated high school, I played lacrosse, so I had 2 undefeated seasons, collected 2 rings. I was doing hair. I take business administration with a minor in finance. I also started baking, so I have a successful baking business also. Thanks to UniFied Efforts, I also met like 2 lifetime best friends such as Dorian and Kamal. We all still talk to this day, so I am grateful for that.
Thank you. Stand up and tell about what you've been doing since you graduated high school.
Oh, wow. Where do I start? After, high school, I went to college. Sometimes college can be for you, and sometimes it's not at the time. For me, I just tried it. I went for a whole semester. Was going to go back. Life happens. After that, I went to Amazon warehouse. And then after that, I work at MedStar Health now. I'm an access specialist. I work with patients. I assist them when they're in pain. I take a lot of calls. So, after UniFied Efforts, it took me in a lot of places. And like I said, I'm forever thankful for Ms. Debbie. And for the people that's still here, stick with her, for real, so I'm just grateful.
Tell them what you've done since you graduated.
Yeah, so, I started when I was in college, right after my freshman year. I finished college and then worked at Kennedy Krieger for a while, at the Center for Autism, and then a few months ago I started working toward my doctorate in occupational therapy at Towson. So I'm doing that for a few more years. It'll take a while. But I also I try and stay connected to UniFied Efforts through being on the board and the now executive board. So we have our monthly meetings, and I get to see Miss Debbie and get all the updates. And even though I don't get to do all the fun activities all the time anymore, I do get to hear about it, which is really, really nice to still be connected and help out where I can.
Thank you.
I just been working, y'all. Writing, trying to work on a book, trying to work on my first book. It's a life story book, and I'll probably involve y'all in it too.
And Dominic is a dad. He has a 7-year-old daughter. What is her name? Yeah. So now we're going to start with the students who are still with UniFied. And we're going to start with Ms. Master Tristan.
I didn't know I was speaking today. But no, UniFied efforts, it gave me a good opportunity to just express myself, especially in the writing aspect. I started when I was in 8th grade, but I was in the 9th and 12th grade classes, so I kind of snuck me in those classes. But I didn't know I really liked writing until that 8th grade summer, and I didn't know I was getting paid until that 8th grade summer, so like also talking like money and stuff like that. So UniFied efforts, I've had a great time there.
Thank you. Would y'all like to know the backstory on that?
Yes. Because you do the financial literacy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. And would y'all like to know the backstory with Tristan? I have so many backstories. What he was saying is true. Our creative writing voucher program is for 9th grades through 12th grades, right? But see, I told you, he's about the same height when he was in 7th grade. So his mom said, well, you know, with the group that she was bringing, could he be included? And you know good well, I cannot say no. I do not say no. I said, yeah, we'll get him in, but we have to let him know, not to let Goucher director know that he's still in middle school. So that was the backstory with him. But I did not know you did not like to write, and hoping you got that early on. So that, and Goucher publishes all of their writing, so they're all published writers. They're all published writers. And how else would we know what they can create if we don't give them the opportunity? If they never had that creative writing opportunity, and all of them are saying they love to write. So what does that tell us? We have to keep on doing what we're doing, because we don't know what's going to set them on fire. I'm not trying to make golfers out of them. I'm not trying to make writers out of them. I'm not trying to make pilots out of them. I'm not trying to make professional swimmers or athletes out of them. We try to expose them to whatever it is. And UniFied Efforts is a youth-led organization. They tell us what they would like to do. And by me being embedded into the community, I have an idea what they like to do also. Our young people are so creative. The more we give them, the more they create. So next up is Mr. Amari, to come on up. Tell us your story.
Hello, my name is Amari Styles.
Hello.
I'm a senior at Woodlawn High School. I started the summer before 9th grade. I was trying to find out what to do because I knew I needed something to put on my college application. So mom came to me, she asked, do you want to do writing? And I said no. And then she asked me again, so I said yes. And then I came. I didn't like it at first, but then I grew to like it, and now I like writing.
Next we have up. And these young men, they are still in the program. The ultimate we got before they
Good evening. Good afternoon. This is my first year doing UniFied efforts. The first time I heard about it was Miss Doreen telling my grandmother about UniFied efforts, and I just came here first for money. But then because at first I never really wrote anything, but then when I joined UniFied efforts, I started to grow into writing more. I started writing more now since UniFied efforts, and it made me love it. It made me love it more. And Ms. Debbie really helped me out with this. So I actually don't know what else to say. What's that? I was just thankful for the opportunity that Ms. Doreen, Ms. Debbie, and UniFied efforts gave me to express myself.
Thank you. So there's pretty much what else to say, and that's why I had the young kids that, there's nothing else for me to say. And, I just wanna thank everybody for, coming in today. And if you could stay around, I would like for you, if you have the time, I know you've been here all day long, but you really talk and meet and greet with, some of our young people to see what it is that, because their dreams haven't just stopped, and what they're doing now. They just springboard off, and I hope one thing that you did pick up, every one of the young people who have, turned to young adults on us, y'all graduated from high school. We haven't had not one student yet who have not graduated from high school. Dominic, do I need to share our?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Dominic was going to have our record to go down to 99%. I don't know how this happened, but his school advisor, but I kind of still know how it happened. He was going to Carver High School in the city, in West Baltimore. And he lived just a block away. And I would go to his school from time to time just to see how he was doing. I would do spot check. Not just see how he was doing, but if he was doing it there. If he was there. And so what happened, by me going to the office, I would write down that I am, someone interested in his well-being. And they ended up putting me down on the list of contacts. I didn't know that. And sometimes I would go and Dominic would be there, or he might even need some lunch money or whatever, just to make sure he was okay. So I get a call from the principal, and they say, Miss Ramsey, and he was in his 12th grade. This was in the springtime, I think March or April, right? They said, we don't think he's gonna graduate. He had missed too many days. Here's a backstory. You mind me telling? The backstory was that on this one occasion, before I got that phone call, I went to see Dominic at school, make sure he had lunch money, he was okay. And by his family living across the street, I said, well, I'm here, let me go check on his mom and let her know I visited her child, because somebody visited my child in school, I wanted to know. So I said, well, let me just go let her know. I was there, Dominic is at school, he's doing well, he's got lunch money. Well, as I walked up as I got to her neighborhood, I saw this moving truck. And I said, So she explained to me they were in the process of being evicted. And that Dominique was not aware, he was in school. And I said, wow, I said, that's, my heart felt for her, because I can only imagine what it meant, like they would end up being homeless, and she was responsible for a lot of other kids in the household. So I asked her what was the plan. And she was saying the plan is some will be going to East Baltimore, some will be going to West Baltimore. So the family was now being dismantled. And Dominic had no idea where he was going to go. And I didn't know what to say, so I was about to leave. And she said to me, Miss Debbie, please don't go. She said, because when Dominic gets home, he's not going to handle this too well. And I need you to be here to keep him balanced. I said, okay, I can do that. So we found out where Dominic was going, he was going well. Now keep in mind, he's in West Baltimore. If you're familiar with Bentlow, North Avenue, he was now going over to 2200 block at East Fayette Street, somewhere past Johns Hopkins Hospital, which meant that he would have to transfer school to probably go to Dunbar. If you know the culture in Baltimore, when a young person is being transferred to another school, who the heck are you? And then their heads were butt. So he knew not to do that. He said, Miss Debbie, I'm going to continue to go to Carver. He must take like 3 buses to do that every day. I'm saying all this to say, to paint this picture. I'm going to come back around to when his advisor called me. So I was going to visit with Dominic way over in East Baltimore. He wasn't going to Dunbar. But from time to time, he would miss school at Carver for all kinds of reasons. Dead in winter, couldn't get there, transportation, whatever was going on, being disrupted from his family. And keep in mind, he's just 15, 16 years old, to adapt to all that was alive. But he still had a desire to go to school. So when the principal called me and said that she don't think he's going to graduate, and I said, well, why? I said, well, he missed too many days. I could not say legally that he's no longer in that district. I wanted to say there's a reason why he can't get to school. graduate. I said, well, what is it that he needs to do? Where is he lacking? One was French, right? And one was, what was the other class? Biology. I said, well, if he were to bring up his grades between now and June, what would that look like? She said, he can't do that. He's not going to be able to do that. I said, if he brings his grades up to a C+ or beyond, can he graduate? If he does that, he's not going to be able to do that. He doesn't have that much time. I went to Dominic. I said, Dominic, this is what we got to do. He did. Yeah, he did. And the day he got his diploma, he called me. He was beaming. I have a picture of his diploma. But no one knew until now.
Meritorious honorable.
There you go. So the moral of that story is, when you have some help and assistance and people believing in you and being an advocate for you, because had his person not called me and told me what kind of situation he was in, he probably would not have graduated. We don't know what could have happened to him. So it just goes to show you what it takes. If we can get our young people to the point that they have enough faith in us, and it wasn't me he was calling UniFied efforts for help. If we can let them know there are people, places, and things out there to help you. But you can get with this and you can get with that. Most of y'all know I'm a former police officer, right? I've seen the games. I understand what they're doing. They are recruiting people like these young people you see. You know why? Because if we don't, you can get with this, or you can get with that. If we do not provide that, they're gonna get with this. As a police officer, there's no way I could stop the game. I couldn't do it. Stop the shooting. Couldn't do it. Not by myself. But one thing we can do is provide an alternate. If we do not give them an alternate avenue, let's see what they choose. And all these young people have chosen not to give it this, but to give it that. But we as the older, sage, experienced people, if we don't do that, what are they left with? Just the this. And that's how we can make an impact. And that's how we can make sure these young people who have dreamed, they see themselves. Dominic, when he was in high school, he was not somebody's dad. He's somebody's dad now. To instill his values. And he's gonna let his daughter know, yeah, you gotta get your education, you gotta stay in school by any means necessary, because you did that by any means necessary. That's how smart you are, Dominic. It took a smart person to say, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And what's the time frame? And do it. This speaks to your character. But if there was no unified efforts there, if your person made, thank goodness unified efforts there for her to make a phone call to. So that's why this is so important, and for y'all to understand why we need to continue unified efforts. And we do have some committees here who, I would say their mission is to make sure that we take care of communities outside of our communities. And we welcome communities outside our communities. And we make sure that when they come in here, they feel welcome. And I feel the welcoming that y'all are giving to them. So I just want to thank you for that. So I want to thank everybody here. And we have one person that we really need to call out their name. Because one of the classmates that go ahead and Dominic and Justin. This was his brother, Tayshawn.
Remember where I go.
Tayshawn. Tayshawn was one of our students, and he such a delight. And out of all my kids, we went to the prom. I went to Justin, he went to the prom, and Ted.
Yep.
But Ted did not want to go to the prom. He wasn't that kind of fellow. He was not that kind of fellow.
Not a single time, though.
Yeah, he was just under the radar screen, cool, you just didn't know he was there, but you knew he was there. And unfortunately, he was in an auto accident and didn't survive. And that's the garden I was talking to you all before, how we keep it up. Because we did not want his mom to drive through that area to ever see that debris where Tay took his last breath. And that was Justin's brother. They live right around the corner, you didn't see one without the other. And, but he's still with us in our heart. And when the building goes up, we have a space called Tay Space, where our young people can go and sit and be at peace and meditate. And so that's a deliberate, intentional space that we have for Tay. And his mom is on the way. So as you all get to know one another, and I haven't forgotten you, sis. Oh, so come on up. No, ladies, go, ladies. But you all, some of y'all, this is my sister, Phyllis, and she has street cred. She's one that has a degree in youth development, childhood development. And she's one that keeps us in compliance and making sure that everything that we do is in proper order. So Phyllis, would you like to say something?
All I would like to say is thank you. Thank you for making the choice. Because you didn't have to make the choice. Things are available every day. And people don't make the right choice. Thank you for these guys over here. I mean, they started the program, they came to the program, still in the program, you all over here, we are one. And I thank you for opening the door. I call her Ernamo. Y'all call her Miss Debbie.
That is a real backstory.
That is a real backstory. That's what I call it, because sometimes when I'm saying, I said, well, Ernamo, Ernamo said, let me say, Ernamo. Ernamo have to tell you that story. But anyway, thank you so much. Oh, here she is.
Come on, I just called your name. Come on in, Miss Lady. Everybody. Come on over here, Miss Lady. We were just talking about our son, Tay, and Jessica, come on over here. And this is for my meeting place to understand what UniFied Efforts is, what it does, how it has impacted people's lives. And I was just announcing that in the building that we're building, we have a space called Safe Space, where our kids can go and just not have any devices, just sit in peace and just think about and have, because that's how his son was. Very peaceful, and he always, whenever he get in the car with me, he will always sit right behind me. He will always, and he will always say, I love you, Miss Debbie. And Tay was such a joy. He still is a joy. He brings much joy. So if you'd like to speak about how Tay came into UniFied Efforts and what UniFied Efforts means to you to this day.
So UniFied Efforts, I just love his dad. She been there from like day one. I mean, once he passed away, she called me every day, sent flowers, did the flowers for the funeral, just things that you wouldn't even imagine that a company would do. So I was just so forever grateful that she stepped in. It's like a second mom. Cause she like, you sit behind her, she was always with him, she had him, she called me like, well, Tayshawn is with me today. I'm like, all right, he already called and told me, but thank you. Cause I'm that type of parent. I wanna know where my son is, what he's doing. So it's just like a blessing to have her and for her to take the gentleman out on different field trips, different avenues, because of areas that they live in. They may not get that type of structure. So she would take them places, and I really love that. She took them out of their comfort zone, showed them something different that they could do. So that was awesome. And I mean, she's just an awesome lady as well. And so I really thank UniFied Efforts for stepping up and supporting me in my tough time. I mean, I come in smiling because now that my son died, I just look at everything positive. I want to break down and cry so bad, but I'm trying to hold it back. But I just smile at everything now because I just want to be blessed. I want to be where my son is one day. So everything I'm doing now is just for him. I just have to make sure I'm doing everything by the book, by God, by the right way, treat everybody the way they want to be treated. And so that's what I've been trying to do. And I can make sure I got off work to get over here. I was like, I would be a little late, but I'm coming because I didn't want to not. Anything she asked me to come to, I'm going to come to. So that's how I really thank you for that. I just love him. Think about my son so much, but he show up for holidays.
Absolutely.
All their friends. I mean, it just blows my mind. Mother's Day, they just gave me the biggest gift ever. So I was like, wow. I just appreciate them. I'm gonna sit down.
And if y'all not hear her name, that is Michelle Healy. And that's Michelle. That's pretty much, if anybody have any questions for our young people, I know it's been a long day for you all. I would like y'all to share some dessert. If get to know them, talk with them, like, and
I don't have a question, but I must say I'm so impressed by this young fellow over here. He's had his arm up his whole time. He's finally falling off by now, but he's been.
it's called being young. It's called being young.
Debbie, I have one question.
Yes.
I remember listening to the radio show that, and so is one of, oh, I'm so glad. Oh,
He was one of them.
I was gonna ask, because you seem like the person that would be the person that did that. Yeah, it was great, it was
That's
great.
fine.
It was such a, I really enjoyed the conversation, and then you interviewed a police officer,
Yeah.
or the head of police, and coach. Those are the two that I listened to. It was fantastic.
And that was part of their communication program, to build up confidence in public speaking. So when we do something, it's always intentional. So the radio program was that. We would like to have it again. So like I said, when we get the funds that we need to continue to operate, we'd like to go back on that air. So, yeah.
Beautiful, hopefully she continues. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for them?
Ms. Debbie.
Oh, yes.
I'm Sandy Morgan, I'm a member of Stony, and I'm just speaking with such gratitude because I look at you and I see the future and it gives me hope. And thank you for all you're doing.
Finally, I would like to say this, I'll be remiss if I didn't make this observation, but every day, we see images of our, black young people on the news in negative, circumstances. And it's easy to paint a broad brush with that, and when you see all these kids that came from the community, this is just tip of the iceberg. And once we get our building up, exponentially, I feel like we can do that much more. So I feel like you all like the founding members that everybody else want to springboard off of. And Tay gave us a beautiful gift to always be mindful of being at peace and to be meditative, because that's how he is. I use the present tense with him because I carry him with me every day. A day doesn't go by, Michelle, I don't think about that. And we want to make sure that patch up there on Liberty and Darcy is always kept. And that is a commitment we make to you. That is what we say to you. So, anyone else have any questions? Any of our young people over here have any questions about where you are today? And I appreciate y'all coming out on the weekend. I really do. So I want to thank you all for doing that. And everybody come and have a church and get to know